Welcome again to It Doesn't Take a Genius, conversation with introspective perspectives and pithy points of view. Here are your hosts, my friends, Max and Marty.
I think that's Mark and Mike.
Yeah, whatever.
Ramsey!
Marshall. You're really channeling your inner Jeff Bezos today. I just want you to know that. I can really see it.
Is that what you're feeling?
It's I don't know, looks kind of astronaut-y on your shirt and the shaved head, and it's just anyway.
I was going for more of a James Bond villain look. Like a hairless cat.
Mr. Bigglesworth, yeah.
Plan for world domination.
Right.
So I think the topic today is we're going to talk about Michael Bungay Stanier's book, The Coaching Habit.
Yes.
So, and I noticed that we got the appropriate backgrounds. I have the cover of the book behind me, and you have?
I have a coach. I mean, it's a coach bus, but it's very much on purpose, because I think so many people, when they think about, I'm going to go coach that guy, what they mean is, I'm going to go fuss at him, he's in trouble. Or they mean, I'm going to be a sports coach to this guy. And not that sports coaches can't coach in a professional sense the way we're going to talk about it today, but I think a lot of people sort of see it as like, I'm a cheerleader for my team, or I'm going to say some hard, tough things to my team and really challenge them. Maybe, but I would submit to you that a better metaphor is, instead of a sports coach, think a motor coach. It helps you get from here to there. That is the point of a coach. You can get from here to there many different ways, but a coach will help you get there faster. So that's why I have that as my backdrop.
Man, that's really deep. I thought you just messed up, but now I'm dutifully impressed.
Thank you for coming to my TED Talk.
Yes, thank you very much. All right, so before we dive into coaching, there's a few questions I ask folks.
Okay.
Just to kind of set the stage for why we coach.
Sure.
And so one of the first questions I'll ask people is, how many times have you gotten advice that was crap?
Oh, like daily.
Daily.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That happens a lot.
Yeah. Well, and so in The Coaching Habit and this other book, The Advice Trap, right? We get some insight into why this is. Mm-hmm. And his thought is that your advice that you're giving people is mediocre at best. Mm-hmm. And the reason being is because you have this tiny one or two little facts, and then you have a whole boatload of assumptions.
Right.
And those boatloads of assumptions are based upon your experiences, your life, your situations. Yeah. And so based upon one fact and a boatload of assumptions, you give your best advice.
Yeah.
And lo and behold, it's bad.
Yeah, that's so true. Because I have so many times thought, I am confident that the advice I'm being given right now actually did work for this person. But that would never, it doesn't even apply to my situation. And so you just politely nod, and then you move on and ignore everything that was just said to you.
Oh, yeah. Well, and so we flipped that around. So how many times have you been talking to somebody and they're telling you their trials and tribulations, and you find yourself at some point you're not even listening anymore because you're about to spring your nuggets of wisdom on them.
Oh man, if I got some good stuff for you.
If you'll just stop talking, I'll tell you exactly what to do and how to do it.
Right.
Because I have one fact and a boatload of assumptions, and I'm now going to give you my worthy nuggets.
Yep. Guilty.
Yeah, and we all do it. And then the last thought is, what happens when you come to somebody and you need some coaching, and instead of coaching, what you get is they tell you what to do, right? They tell you how they would handle it, that type of thing. So what is, as the person being coached, what's implied, what's implicit in that relationship?
Oh, well, you're the one with the power, the knowledge. I just have to come, sit at your feet and get the knowledge. And in the car business, we talk about this a lot. I'm going to load his lips.
Oh,
and And there's, for the uninitiated, what that basically means is, I'm going to tell you as your manager the next thing to say to that customer. And to be really fair, a lot of them know exactly what they're doing. They're students of human nature. They know how to move forward the sales process, and it just might work. But it just might work for a certain segment of the population that gets where you came from and what you're trying to accomplish, and it may not work for all the staff. We lose a lot of people that way.
Oh, definitely. And then the managers complain. I told him exactly what to say, and he didn't go say it.
Right. There's also that.
Yeah, that comes up frequently. So yeah, there's all this telling, all this offering your best practices and all that. The reality is it doesn't change behavior, and it disempowers and it demotivates people. So when people come to you and they serve it up, right?
Mm-hmm.
I need you to tell me what to do here. Oh, yes. They're just serving this platter of opportunity for you to give advice and tell them what to do, and it's really, you're not that good at it. And it demotivates, disempowers the person you're about to give your wisdom to. And it creates one more thing. You become the bottleneck.
Yeah, they have to come to you to progress.
Yeah. Nobody can do anything unless they run it by me first, and I tell them, what I would do in that situation. Yep. Now, the growth of your organization is capped by your capacity to be the answer guy.
Yeah.
And so that's just no way to go through life, or no way to grow a department, and no way to empower people.
Yeah, and I think that managers don't realize that they've done that to themselves. And then when they do come to the realization, it's after extreme frustration. They are spread so thin, having to take care of all these different mouths to feed, that they're, a lot of them are exhausted by the time that's done. And the beauty of what we're going to present here today is, what if you didn't do the heavy lifting? What if you develop some habits so that your people could think and develop and grow? So I'm excited about this series.
This is, and you run into those guys, right? I can't even go to lunch. I can't go to the bathroom.
Right.
The emails are piling up, the texts, the people wanting to, all my, how much of that did you create? Mm-hmm. And we do it because sometimes we think that that's where our value lies, right? They gave me this job so I could be the answer guy.
Right.
No, they gave you that job so you could develop other people who could do these things, so you could focus on bigger picture items, more strategic tasks.
Yeah.
And so we definitely have some really good stuff here. And when you think of coaching, right, sometimes we talk about this in a very formal setting. We're going to bring somebody in, we're going to sit them down, it's scheduled. And so this works, the 7 coaching questions we're about to give you work for that. It also works for just those casual, hallway, standing by the toolbox, standing out, in the workplace, just having a conversation with somebody.
That's right. That's right.
And so, these are just fantastic conversation starters. And like most things, it's probably a good business practice. It's probably a good life practice. So you may find these useful in more than just one setting.
Which is good news, because if you're trying to develop a coaching habit, as the book says, you're going to need to develop some muscle memory, and using these in lots of different conversations will help you do that. It's work, it's home, it's everywhere.
Oh yeah. No, and these are fantastic. All right. So what's number 1?
All right, number 1, he calls it the kickstart question, and it's what's on your mind.
Okay, so what's the rest of it?
Yeah, right. Exactly.
Where's the magic?
Where's the magic? Exactly.
Yeah, not all right. So repeat that again. Maybe I missed it.
What's on your mind?
What's on your mind?
Yeah, and the beauty here is that that is a conversational question, isn't it? It's almost like we're just having a conversation.
Yes, it's like two carbon-based life forms talking.
Right.
Yeah, I like that. So, and we talk about this in sales conversations, right? You want to start with a big wide funnel.
Mhm.
We don't want to rule anything out.
Right.
And this question does an amazing job of just throwing it open, right? What's on your mind?
Right.
And people will start to give you various things.
Yeah.
And depending on the person, some of them will give you the stuff in order of priority. You know,
Right.
here's what's causing me the most discomfort at this point. Here's what I'm most excited about. All right, but very often people just start, it's kind of a free flow of consciousness where you're just getting, you know, here's some
Right.
different things I'm thinking of. And so, yeah, it's an interesting question because it starts very broad. It's when you think about it, if we stopped here, it would be a disaster.
Mm.
You know, because we talked about earlier, right? We're waiting to impart our wisdom and nuggets of knowledge. And so if the first thing that's offered up is the thing that we jump on, we got a real good chance of giving really bad advice
Yeah.
to something that's not really the main problem.
Right. Right.
How effective is that?
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
it feels like it's working. Like they told me is something that they're struggling with. I gave them wonderful advice. Great talk, son. And
Check the box, dust my hands off, move on to the next thing.
Yes, I've coached him up.
Yeah.
Like, okay, first of all, your advice was bad, and second of all, it wasn't a real problem.
Yeah.
But other than that, you killed it.
It's right. And what we're really trying to do is give that person permission to just like get to work on the thing they want to get to work on. And it won't, like you said, it probably won't be that first thing that comes out of their mouth, but we're giving them permission to go where their brain already is, the thing that's causing them tension or frustration, or it's their growth opportunity. We're giving them the permission to go there instead of it be, you know, this number that I want to talk about or report that I want to talk about. It's where are you already at, where you've already got some investment. And I think in the book he mentions people, it's projects, persons, or patterns of behavior, right? In the book, The Coaching Habit. So basically, it's probably one of those three things that is the coaching opportunity. You know, it's about a person, it's about some specific project, or it's about some behavior pattern that they themselves have that they want to work on. Those are, hey, any of those will help this organization, right? Any of those will help this department if we help you get through that. But I got to give you permission to go there instead of, you know, sort of forcing you down a path that you're not necessarily interested in taking. Aren't going to changes.
Well, the other thing you get here is the knee-jerk response. You know, we talk about this, you know, if I'm in the store, and even if I've been in the store for 3 days and I can't find what I'm looking for, if the associate comes up to me and says, "Can I help you?" I go, "Nope, just looking."
Right.
It's like this knee-jerk response. I can't even stop it. And so sometimes that's what you get, right? You'll get either the knee-jerk response, nah, everything's fine, or here's an issue. Or if they're really quick, right, they'll throw out the thing that they know you're passionate about.
Right.
I'm struggling to set those appointments, boss.
Right.
I love talking about appointments. Let me, you know, now they've reeled you in, you know,
right.
and we're not going to talk about what's really going on. And I've got you fished into talking about your favorite topic. And once you're done, it may take a week to 10 days, but once you've finished, then I can go back to doing what I was doing and maybe still struggling with the real issue that was before me.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, and that's why the second question is so important for the first question, the kickstart question, and the rest of the questions that we're going to go over. I don't know if you're ready to move on, but it's killing me. This is the best question. I'll just go ahead and tell you, this is the best one. They call it the AWE question, the AWE question. Hold on, let me prepare myself for it. And what else?
Okay. Yeah. So the question is 3 words. And what else?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's amazing. And when you think about it, what we're looking at here is that, they'll tell you that's a drill down question. And,
Right.
and so you've given me, you've run through a few of the first things that, those knee-jerk responses that came to you. And this is where a strategic use of silence comes in. You
Yeah.
want to pause and and then you want to say, and what else?
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden you start to get the real stuff.
Yeah. You're letting them process below that surface first knee-jerk response answer and go deeper. And what's so crazy about this question is you're not done going deeper. What's on your mind? Just these appointments I'm supposed to set. I'm just really struggling with it. Oh, cool. What else? Well, man, I've got 2 deliveries scheduled tomorrow. It's going to be a little crazy. Cool. What else? Did you know Sally's sleeping with the manager? Like, you never know where that's going to go.
Oh yeah.
And the thing is that you're not going to know that. And of course, I picked a silly example that gives you something that you need to know as a manager. But what you're really hoping to do is allow that person to get a little clarity about the thing that is really their important issue. Deeper you go, in other words, and what else can be the follow-up question to every question on this list, including the question, and what else? That's how good this question is.
Yeah, it reminds me of the 6 Sigma, the 5 whys.
Yeah.
Yeah, you just keep asking why until you get to the root problem. This is a very similar thing, but more conversational in nature. And what else?
Yeah.
And what beyond that? And you can change the verbiage. You could say, all right, what beyond that? Is there something deeper going on? Just continue to drill down to see if you can uncover what's the biggest thing that we really need to talk about in this coaching conversation.
And by the way, at some point you're going to get the answer, nothing else. That's pretty much all the things on my mind. And guess what? You just learned that we've theoretically laid it all out on the table. And oh, by the way, it may have just given you some time to do some processing on what should be your next question that you want to ask about this thing that you're talking about. Nice way to buy yourself a little bit of time in the conversation.
Oh, definitely. And it leads perfectly into question number 3.
That's right.
So this one's a little more wordy. So if you need more time to prepare before you whip it out on us, go ahead.
So he calls it the focus question. So like you said, we start with this big funnel and we're drilling down. Well, we're drilling down to the focus of this conversation. So the focus question is, what's the real challenge here for you? This is a wild question to throw on somebody. It's amazing how some people will not be able to answer this question and really have to think about it, which shows you how much help you're giving them, that they don't even really know what's the actual thing that's blocking them up on this particular issue that they brought to you.
Mm-hmm. When I find myself circling back to what we talked about earlier, right? So you named off 3 or 4 things. Of those things, which is the real challenge for you?
Yeah.
And sometimes, giving them their list back sometimes will help them go, of all the stuff I talked about, the one that's really impacting my performance is X. And then all of a sudden, you're right, we've landed on it.
Yeah.
And so, go ahead.
Well, I was just going to say another way that this will work is, that we've talked about that sort of danger of giving advice, and that we're going back to this appointment setting person that we've created for our discussion. I have a million things to tell my employee about great ways to set appointments and how to do that. And then I say, I in my head, I'm saying, I just know that if he would just sit down the first 30 minutes of the day and plan out his schedule on when he's going to make these follow-up. Well, that is true for me, but what's the real challenge here for him? I'm about to give him some activities. I'm about to give him, sort of a problem solving method. And that's not actually the thing that's getting in his way. He gets to work actually an hour earlier than I do. And it has nothing to do with that. He's scared to make these phone calls. It's fear. Fear's the actual problem for him here. He needs some courage somehow. So this will keep you from going down another bad road, just like the first question will. It's just going to make you focus on the thing that's actually the issue for him.
Well, and what's fascinating, you're exactly right. What's fascinating is that we're pretty deep into a conversation. And as the manager, we really, or the person doing the coaching, we really haven't done any heavy lifting.
Right. Right.
We've asked some very easy, simple questions. Yeah, this is.
And only 3 of them, actually.
Yeah, 3 simple questions.
Even if you've asked them like maybe, multiple times in the same conversation, it's still just the 3.
Yeah, and we haven't had to offer anything up. The one thing that we do have to do that's critical here is we have to actually listen.
Yeah.
Man, yeah. And that's heavy lifting in today's age where there's so many distractions. Your phone is literally in your hand, buzzing and beeping, and you're being paged, and there's emails piling up, and there's other people wanting to talk to you. But in order for this to work, you've got to listen to that initial list. You've got to ask what else. You've got to listen to that so that if necessary, you can paraphrase it back for when you ask what's the real challenge here for you. Yeah. And so this doesn't require a lot of problem solving. You're not walking in and trying to strategically address a problem, but you are listening. And so that's one of the big takeaways here.
I think that's a huge takeaway. And we're going to sort of stop this episode at these 3 questions. We have 4 more to go, and a number of other pieces of advice about how to do that listening as we get into the 3rd episode. But I would really encourage people to try out these questions. That's something you can do. That's an immediate practical takeaway. You'll be surprised how hard it is to just ask the question and shut up. And then I would also challenge people to try to listen and literally pay attention to if you're listening or not. And you'll find your mind wandering off to the side and, I've got to get groceries tonight and whatever else it is. But see if you can make it, 10 seconds focusing on one individual for 10 seconds straight and really be present and listening to what they're saying. It's tough. It's really hard to do.
It is. I'm reminded of, and I'm sure I'm messing up the quote, but yeah, the goal, the question to ask yourself, are you listening to understand or are you listening to respond?
Right.
And so listening to understand is what we're looking for at this point. And so trying to understand as much as possible. Remember, you had just a tiny little bit of fact and a whole lot of assumptions. Our goal is to gain in facts and discovery and reduce those assumptions.
Yeah. This is about it's a curiosity process.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Yeah. And Michael talks about that in his book, right? Stay curious longer. And so that's kind of the key point here. Can I stay curious longer? And in doing so, can I get to the real good stuff? Yeah.
You will be a blessing to the people around you if you do this. I will just go ahead and make a blanket Mark Ramsey promise. This is really important stuff, and it really piggybacks with some of the material we covered about ambush coaching. These are habits that are the opposite of the ambush, and so we hope this really helps people be a really, just be a true asset for the folks around them.
Oh, definitely. So yeah, give it a chance, give it a try, and just try one. Just and these will work even out of order. They tend to work. So pick the one you like, give it a try, and then we'll talk about the other 4 when we get back together.
Beautiful. I will add, I've never met this man, but I had a manager that I taught this method, and he told the "and what else" question to a guy who had a small business, and he said that that man will no longer interview a possible hire without asking this question at least once. And he said it has never failed to just turn up amazing amounts of dirt. Well, there was a drug conviction, or whatever it is. So yeah, these questions are powerful in many, many ways. But you gotta practice them. So
Right. All right. We hope we hate to tell you what to do, but we would definitely encourage you to go out and practice, and then let us know in the comments below how it goes.
Yep, perfect.
And with that, we'll throw it over to our announcer. Take us off with some inspiring words.
Sure.
Yeah, right.
And that's it. Join us next time when you'll hear Mike say, well, I'm sure he'll say something pithy. Don't miss it. Next time, it doesn't take a genius.
That's good enough.